The most loving thing that you can do in this life is simply be yourself in every moment. And then you've got to ask the question, who is this self to be? So who would that self be? To be yourself is to know yourself as not a thing, that your essence is not a thing. Experiencing life through this human form, but who your essence is not a thing, which by default makes it everything. This isn't an intellectual thing, no matter how many times I say that. Like, even these words miss it. They don't quite get the emptiness and the vastness of this moment. That life is absolutely empty, but not in a negative way. And that this doesn't have anything to do with your human personality character. Like, for the character or the person to become empty is a disaster. It's beyond that. The personality is the personality, the conditions. And there's nothing wrong with the way the personality is. It's recognizing that your essence, deeper than that which is experiencing right now, isn't limited to form and is not a thing, appearing as everything. The reason that your experience feels limited is because there is this attachment to the character. So there's an attachment to believing that you're a character that was born on a certain date, that's going to die on a certain date, that likes things, doesn't like things, has things, owns things. And so there's this energetic attachment that makes it feel like that is who you are, and that you're inside the body looking out from the eyes. Whereas actually that person is being experienced, it's not the experiencer. So this person that you imagine yourself to be, that is Eleanor, 56, sitting on the sofa, that's an imagination of who you are. That's not actually who you are right now. Right now, who you are, what's looking out, is a mystery, and it's not a form. You might think that it's the body, but that's a thought that comes and goes. This looking is actually infinite and everywhere, and all things. It's free. It's love. And it doesn't really matter how you call it. To me, it's irrelevant whether you call it consciousness, no thing, everything. Like some people in Advaita take great pride in saying it's no thing, and consciousness is still form, or some say it's consciousness, or some say it's awareness. Some say that all these different arguments, the I am. And it doesn't really matter, it's just this energetic movement back to something that's expanded, that's totally energetical. That something's not limited. It's not intellectual. It's not a thought. It's not something you get. It's a shift from being limited to this person that looks out to everything, to this non-dual experience, if you could call it an experience, or non-dual reality, if you want to be even more non-dual in the language. We've got to be careful about the non-dual police. They'll be in there commenting on the video afterwards. One way or the other, you're too non-dual, you're too dual. You should say it like this, you should say it like that. Like this, like that. Like this, like that. That's not right, that is right. And then on all of that, there's still this experiencing here, which is love. It's such vast and empty and peaceful love that's here no matter what is happening on the surface. This isn't about you, the person, getting something. So it's not about you arriving at a place of this, because that's an imagination of you arriving. It's seeing that it's already here. It's just hiding because you're identified with the person, and when you're identified with the person, then you're always on this mission to collect as much pleasure points as you can and to avoid as many pain points as you can. It's like boop, boop, boop. And that's your mission. And it becomes like an obsession, like constantly trying to maintain pleasure. This is the way the body should be orientated. It's not that that's wrong. The body should always move towards pleasure and not pain. It would be a screwed up body if it was always moving towards pain. So that's not wrong. It's just when you believe that you find what you're looking for in that pleasure, which most people do, that when you manage to have more time off, when you manage to get enough money, when you manage to sell 100,000 books, you will have arrived. You're never going to arrive. You're never going to get to the place that you dream of. You're always going to be right here, right here. Right here. This is it, baby. It's impossible for the mind to get. The mind's always looking for something, like how can I understand her? Or it's got nothing to do with the mind. I can help you relax the person and relax that seeking energy, but the energetic shift has got nothing to do with the mind. It's nothing to do with you and your efforts. All of that is imagined you with your efforts, and there's back on of how hard you've tried. All of it's imagined. That you got into this subject, that you're going to arrive in this subject, that you're going to become enlightened, that you're going to become free, that you weren't free and then you become free. That's all imagined. There's nothing wrong with communicating things and expressing how you go into this subject, but just see right here, right now, your essence doesn't contain any of that or hold anything. The experiencer is none of that. The experiencer is free and beyond that. Just see the thoughts and ideas appearing in a vastness. The sensations, heat, cold air appearing in a vastness. Nothing can contain that vastness. So you think that you end somewhere and the world begins somewhere. Whereas when you begin to sink into what you are, which is right here, then you see there isn't a beginning and an end to that. It can't be contained, it can't be grabbed hold of and put into a bucket. There's no end to you. There's no start and stop. This isn't for the personality. If we zoom back out to the personality, the one that can describe that it went to the shops today, or that it laid in the sun, or that it went for a swim, don't take any of that on for that person, because taking it on for that person will make the person more than likely screwed up. It can in points relax the person, but don't try and use non-duality as therapy. Like it's better to use therapy as therapy, to understand the person, to understand what it wants, understand what it's doing, rather than to sit there and be like, I am nobody, I am nobody, I am nobody. That's a disaster. And more than likely why somebody does that on the human level is because they don't want to exist, because they've never been recognized in their life. Maybe they came from that very narcissistic parents who never recognized their emotions, their feelings, their voice, and so sitting there and saying I'm nobody actually matches up with their psychology. So on that level it's not right. But that which is experiencing that person, that's the level I'm talking to. It's an energetic exchange. I'm not really talking to the person. You think I'm talking to the person, but I don't think I'm talking to the person. There's speaking happening in this vastness and this freedom about this beautiful subject. Okay, maybe take a question. Hi, Raphael. Hi, beautiful. Nice.